Welcome to Built to Last. I'm your host, Eric Schwarze. This show is all about what it really takes to build quality homes, strong communities, and lasting relationships. Today, we're covering one of the most exciting and visually rewarding stages of home building journey, and that's finishing the inside of the home, adding the pretties and the colors to the home. And that's when it really starts to feel like someone's home and stop looking like a job site. I've got with me today Eason Maykus, President of Maykus Homes, and he's going to be walking us through this process on a little bit. Eason, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here.
I'm going to set the stage for you. Bubba's helped me build the house up to this point on the inside, and we have just basically finished our cabinets and our trim work. Who are we going to bring in next, and what are they going to be doing?
Your painters are going to be next, and very fun and exciting processes leading up to this point. A lot of detail. And when painters start, I'm guilty of this, is telling somebody, hey, painters are going to start. What I sometimes fail to communicate is when painters start, it is painting prep for a week and a half to 2 weeks. So as exciting as it is that the painters have walked in the house, there's really not a lot to look at for some time.
It's usually probably during this point in time, or maybe even a little bit sooner than this, and we've had the painters put out some samples probably.
Yes.
And they've already kind of basically picked their colors by this stage. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, we've moved our painters through. They've prepped. They've done all their Bondo and stuff, and now we've moved back. And now we're going to bring in probably next our countertop contractor. What is he going to be doing?
The countertop contractor is going to come in after the painters have completed the home, and he's going to put the hard surfaces on. He's going to be drilling the holes for different faucet types. Are the lavatories single hole? Is there a soap dispenser by your kitchen sink? Is there a garbage disposal vacuum switch? Is your master or primary bath 8-inch, 4-inch spread single hole? He's going to be putting those on, and then a lot of times with the different counters that we have, adding protection to that. And in some cases, it's a phased thing as well, because at the same time, which I don't mean to get ahead, but you're going to have another contractor being the electricians that need access and accessibility to what's underneath those countertops. So there's kind of a delicate dance there, even though it is time for the countertops to come in. There's a delicate dance there between the electricians, the plumbers, the countertop people, the hardware people, etc. But countertops certainly would be the first thing.
It's almost like the countertops trigger several other trades' ability to do their job.
Yes, sir.
In a lot of ways. So once we've got our countertops in, we visited with Jessica not too long ago. The tile company is going to be putting the backsplashes on top and different things like that. Our hardware, what did we consider hardware inside a home?
Hardware can mean a variety of things, but the things that are necessary are going to be your door handle sets. So your exterior, interior doors, whether those are knobs or levers, but basically allowing you to open and close a door, striker plates, all that stuff. Also, your pretty much necessity piece of hardware is going to be toilet paper holders. It's going to be, in the photo behind us, Eric, the refrigerator pulls, if you've got panel-ready appliances. It's going to be knobs and pulls on drawers and doors. It could be robe hooks. It could be towel bars. It could be a variety of things. And the hardware company also supplies many other things, all the way to mirrors, if there's a mirror that a client may see, but all the way from the doorknobs to toilet paper holders to the pretty, almost jewelry in a way, of a house and the cabinets.
I think this is excellent, too, for our homeowners that are watching or listening to this show, that or people that are about to build a home. You just named off this big, long list of things that fall underneath the hardware umbrella. And if you wait till the last minute to make those selections, you're going to have problems, aren't you?
You are. And the thought process even goes to, where are you going to hang your clothes? Are we doing wood rods? Are we doing metal rods? A lot of these things you don't have to do, but if some of these things are important to you and you've had them, even the way we build and the finish carpenter, the trim carpenter builds our closets is determined by what type of closet rods are on there. Not saying it can't be retrofitted after the fact and it's the end of the world mistake, but certainly to plan ahead is hugely important. People get lost in the fun part, and that's what they should, because that's what we're proud that they get to have fun with this. It's our job to make sure that if there's 28 pieces of this type of hardware, that 28 get in there. And these pieces of the puzzle aren't typically something that's in stock. So these things are ordered way in advance. And there's a lot of planning ahead, scheduling ahead, getting it there and making sure it's finished.
And you kind of alluded to this earlier. We're talking about this in a linear fashion, but rarely does things go linear on a job site. We may have 2 or 3 contractors performing various tasks in different parts of the home at the same time.
That's right.
By this point in time, won't we?
That's right.
So we've talked about our hardware, and a lot of times, even before hardware, though, we're going to move in somebody else, and that's the electrician. And what is the electrician going to be doing at this point in time?
It's pretty easy to just think of the electrician at the trim, we'll call this the trim stage, where they're plugging and switching the house, and going and putting the light switches in, the receptacle trims in, things like that. And hanging the light fixtures. Well, people are spending a good amount of money on light fixtures. How long is the chain or the down rod on that light fixture? That's the pretty part of it. Something that goes overlooked that the electricians deal with is hooking up the HVAC in the mechanical system, hooking up water heaters and putting pigtails on them, putting pigtails on your garbage disposal, hooking up appliances, fitting appliances into holes that weigh thousands of pounds, things like that. They play a critical role in making it all come together, but it's easy just to focus on the pretty part.
So once the electrician does his job, we're able to power up the house. Now we've got the house powered up. Let's say maybe we've had the plumbers in before this time. Maybe they've been working in there. But what are the plumbers doing during this basic time frame as well?
After the countertops are in and the tile is in, the plumbers are going to do what their version of trim as well. Same thing, trim stage. So they are going to be putting your faucets in, setting your potties, setting your shower trims or your tub trims. They're going to be installing water heaters, which also has an aspect of the electricians being involved too. Do you have a steam shower? They're going to be soldering copper lines if you have a steam shower, and then the electricians are going to play a role there. The plumbers are going to be hooking up condensate drains to P-traps to make sure that if it's in the heat of the summertime, we can run the AC so the wood floors can acclimate. The plumbers are going to be making sure that how do you fill a certain type of tub? Is it a wall valve? Is it a floor valve? Is it a tub mounted or a deck mounted valve for a tub? They're going to be making sure that everything is set in place. And sometimes that means making pretty substantial adjustments to a foundation of a house even. If it's been missed by even 2 inches on a slab, there's pretty substantial adjustments that have to be made so the plumbers can finish their job too. And in that delicate dance we talked about going all the way back to the countertops, some of the tile can't be done until the countertops are in. Well, some of the plumbing can't be done and some of the electric can't be done until the tile's all in, which all starts after the painters leave at that countertop stage. So a lot of, hopefully not a lot of back and forth. We try to minimize trips, but inevitably sometimes that's just the case.
Sometimes it's almost like you have an orchestra of contractors in there playing different sounds at different places, and you're just stand back and you're directing and pointing.
That's right.
Well, we've done a lot, but there's low voltage to go in.
Yes.
What is low voltage?
Low voltage is going to be your structured wiring, your audio-visual component of the house. So typically we dedicate an area in the conditioned space for your audio-visual closet where your router would go. Try to plan ahead and put that in a central location of a house. Being fully encapsulated, sometimes an attic is a good location, and that low voltage could be anything from automated home devices, window shades, or as simple as just providing a place to hook up an Alexa or a TV to the wall. But that can be as simple as you've ever seen, or as complex as you've ever seen.
Yeah. We've got our plumbing trim done. We've got our electrical trim done. So now we're going to call the city and we're going to get our temporary electric and gas releases and power up this home and start testing the systems. Now we need that power on for the air conditioning and our wood floors. Why is that?
If we're using nail down true hardwood floors, we want those wood floors to acclimate. So even though this is a delicate dance and we're in a big rush and we're trying to get people to the finish line to move into their home, there's also a level of detail and a level of care that is out of our control. So acclimating wood floors is a huge part of that, because we don't want to jump that process and it create a big issue for a client when they move into that house.
Usually next to the last things we are going to do is probably bring in our glass and mirror contractor. And he's going to be touching what parts of our homes?
Typically showers, your vanity mirrors, any glass on your cabinets, any glass shelving within the cabinets. That's your glass and mirror aspects of the home. And again, this has become a very specialized trade. There's a lot of things that people see online or on TV shows, and we're really lucky to have a great glass and mirror contractor.
And we haven't talked about it here because we're just talking about the installation portion of it in this episode. But our customers have been working with our designers by now for months and getting to this point on, is it going to be frameless glass or what color the hardware is going to be? So we have kind of skipped over that, but that's all kind of our process that's been going on throughout this whole stage, right?
Absolutely. Even before that, when we sign a contract and we are putting specs for the contract into a house, the glass and mirrors are contemplated and discussed. If this is a bathroom that's only going to be used by guests when you have company over, maybe we don't put a door on that. Maybe we put some architectural glass feature that's just a panel that if somebody were to use the shower, it would block the water from coming out. But if it's a shower that's being used day in and day out by a young kid in an upstairs bathroom, we're going to put a door on that sucker. All the way to even privacy and types of glass and things like that. But those are things we talk about on paper, planning stage, even before we sign a contract.
And it probably brings us basically to about the last two parts. And we're kind of saving them to end for a couple of reasons. Our appliances, why are we kind of waiting towards the end to move our appliances into the homes?
Theft, damage. Sometimes all the appliances typically come with templates and things. And this is just another example of a back and forth where paper doesn't necessarily work perfectly. Mm-hmm. Creases in paper, whatever.
Right.
But if we're going to be putting in a specific range that people have spent a lot of money in their home on some nice appliances, there are small adjustments by the countertop contractor that might be cutting little ears off where the face of a commercial looking cooktop may go, mm-hmm. or removing some base trim so a built-in can go in and then putting the trim back. The detail that goes into the appliance packages is well thought out, and theft and damage, I would say, are primarily the main delays of putting that in, because that is a big ticket item in these homes.
I was going to say that's probably just one of the easier damage, more expensive things that can happen to us out there. Then the very last one, carpet. It's kind of obvious why we're saving that to the end. That's just so it doesn't get damaged.
That's right.
Yeah,
carpet at the very end, obviously before final cleans and make-ready cleans and things like that. And also even the carpet protection is not something we want to leave on the carpet for a long period of time with the adhesive on there. It's just a very delicate item that goes into a house, and you don't want people working on the house, walking on the carpet very much.
Right. We've spent 14 minutes talking about 120 days or 180 days of work. But let's put ourselves in that homeowner who's watching this last 180 days of their house being built. what would you tell them?
If possible, no, this is not only stressful for you as a client, it's really stressful for us because we want to get it perfect. And these little details that may be the size of a quarter are going to go slower in some cases than the framing of a house and going vertical with tens of thousands of dollars worth of framing material. That is not autopilot, but that can be an autopilot stage. This is all hands on deck. This is the care and the worry and the concern for us as builders as well. Are the windows locked in the evening? Is the garage door latched? Is the front door latched? How am I going to get somebody access to it at 5 a.m. when they may not technically be supposed to work, but we're in crunch time and we got somebody there and they're working after technically when they're supposed to be working as well, just to get the house finished. And some of it is out of our control. When we're talking about these final inspection stages, utility companies and franchise utilities that really have their own schedule as far as when permanent meters can be set, electric meters, gas meters, great relationships with them. But a lot of times we don't have control over those timelines. We don't have control over when cities and utility companies have communicated that a meter can be set, even though we're following up and trying to be in the middle of that process so we know it's going to happen. It's just a very proud and fun stage for us as a builder as well, but it does come with the stresses of minimize any damage that could happen, any theft that could happen, any of that orchestra not playing out the way we want it to play out.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I was thinking too. I was thinking by this time of the stage 2, we're 8 to 10 months down the build chain. The homeowners are super anxious to move in, and the little details are maybe not quite finished yet. And that's when they really start to get a little bit worried, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. And we could do a whole podcast episode on fire suppression, which we didn't even talk about, which adds a couple extra layers into this process, right, which many of our houses have fire suppression systems. And that's a whole other aspect of finishing the house as well. But these are all things that, like the photo behind you and I, is something that we take a ton of pride in, because having a happy client and having a home that they're really proud of and maximizing their value, and something that we can show off that we've done too and that we've built. I mean, this is the part of the home that everybody sees when they're doing their daily tasks, whether it be cooking, washing their hands, walking barefoot on, nail down wood floors like we talked about. If they didn't get acclimated properly, are we going to hang a sock thread on a piece of wood floor? And a lot of these are natural materials too. So just like the components I said earlier, as far as people that are involved, some of these natural materials and these are handmade items. These are God-made items. And, balancing out the installation of things that are man-made or natural and getting them as close to perfect as possible just takes a lot of detail and effort and time to get it right.
Yeah. And that's where we really count on our homeowners to trust us.
Yes.
Just trust us a little bit. We will finish the project.
Yes.
Well, Eason, we need you out there selling homes and developing neighborhoods. So we're going to let you out of the hot seat. Meanwhile, for the rest of you folks out there watching us, we appreciate your time. We welcome you to join us back here again, whether you watch us or listen to us. Also, come see us at our neighborhoods or at our office. Please feel free to reach out to sales at 817-308-1155. This is Eric Schwarze with Built to Last and Maykus Homes. You guys take care, and we'll see you next time.